Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches! RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9, Episode 10.
Yeah. One of those bowls.
Baba please. Episode 10.
10.
Anyway.
It's one of those days.
Yep. It's one of those nights. Glenn. I'm clearly in a swimsuit straight from Memorial Day, so enjoy. They're Andrew Christian. They're tiny little horse swimsuits. Well, first things first, shout out to our wine sponsor, Wink. Try wink.com/moviebitches. You get $20 off your first month of wine. Try it out. Also, patreon.com/moviebitches.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for your support. It's really been really exciting to see every time someone subscribes or says something. Really love it. But also, we're getting closer.
We're pretty close.
Over halfway to the onesie episode. So that's going to be pretty exciting.
I'm pretty excited about it.
Must watch TV or internet television. YouTube.
Appointment YouTube.
Appointment YouTube. Okay, that sounds very formal.
Did you just call it YouTubes? Like
So
Trinity last week?
I actually have an online character that I've done for YouTube that's called Miss Ginger Coont.
I have a character named Coont on the YouTubes.
I just still love that when she's like, here are the receipts.
Yeah. Oh, did you ask for them? You didn't? Here they are. So the girls come in.
Yes.
Valentina has just gone home and everybody is still like,
whoa.
What just happened? And
Valentina, what part of a lip sync don't you understand? Love that it got turned into a remix like we requested. I don't know if we requested it on the camera.
I haven't heard it yet.
You didn't hear it?
No.
Oh, I retweeted it.
I'd like to keep it on, please. I'd like to keep it on. Take that thing off of your mouth.
Valentina, what part of lip sync did you understand? Boop, 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 boop. You know, it's like perfect. So
Yes, they
everyone's
all
like
look good.
shocked that she's gone, and I understand.
I did love Sasha had to kneel down to get through the doorway with her silly clown hat on. It made me laugh. The outfits last week were fabulous.
They were really good.
Yeah.
It was a really good runway last week.
It was really good.
Yeah.
And Nina has to wash away the lipstick, and everyone sings a song to her.
Nina.
I thought this was kind of condescending, personally.
Okay, here's how I feel.
Uh-huh.
Okay, there's two things. One, also, there's only been 2 mini challenges in 10 episodes.
That is true.
And the real difference that makes is not that it shows us who's better necessarily than another, right?
No.
Because they're so stupid more often than not. It's
Yeah.
like, which pit crew is a top? None of them.
Just one top with all of West Hollywood?
That shows you personality of the queens.
Yes.
Which is really
When they're
fun
not-
for you to get to
When
know
they're
them.
not like in a panic
Exactly.
of the main
when the
challenge.
stakes are low.
Yeah.
It shows
And
you them
it
when the
gives-
stakes are low.
It gives queens a little confidence boost. Oh, I
And-
won this. Oh, it's silly, but I won it.
And it used to give immunity.
And it used to give immunity.
Which also was helpful. So there's certain things that are lacking from having those mini episodes,
Exactly.
just than from our own enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a bunch of half-naked men in bulgy whore briefs. That's its own thing. So there's that part.
Yeah.
But then there's also this thing where not having these actual challenges that stress them, that test them, that push them to sink or swim.
Yes. Till so late in the game.
Till so late in the game. My thing, I kept waiting for Nina to have an arc where it was like, oh, she's gonna figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
And she never really did it.
I just feel like this whole season has been very, you're on your own.
Yeah.
And there's been not a lot of direction.
No,
or story building.
it hasn't pushed anyone to change or grow.
No.
And the result of that is that we're now 10 episodes into the season, and no one's really any different, except for maybe Trinity, I guess.
But she's not any different. She's different than I assumed she would be.
Exactly. No one stepped out, and Nina had the most potential to do that.
Yes. Even
Different.
though her runways sometimes were incomplete, I was always really excited to see what she was gonna do.
And yet all that the editors could focus on was these every week. It was like, well, here they are going to talk about Nina.
Yeah.
And the girls indulged it.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought about this. I thought, how different would Nina's journey have been if she had been on a mean season? Right?
Girl, if I want to come for you, I'll come to your room at night and cut your fucking wigs up.
If Bianca Del Rio was there to just be like, girl, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it anymore. Get your shit together and move the fuck on.
Yeah.
It would have been different. But everyone was just like, oh, we're going to be so nice to you. And we have to support Nina by telling her that she's good, even though she's not listening to us. It was just this whole, it was condescending.
It was like totally condescending when they were like, yay, oh my gosh, yay, Nina, yay, Nina.
And they never really did that for anyone else.
Why would they? It's super condescending.
They kept complaining about how every week the narrative was about Nina. And it's like, yet every week here you are trying to talk to Nina.
Just leave her alone.
Leave it, like, just let it go.
She clearly needs her alone time.
Just let it the fuck go.
I'm not asking for anybody to be like, oh, Nina, it's okay. I mean, that's what they chose to do.
Well, maybe, there was no drama, so maybe the producers were like, go talk to Nina. Talk to Nina. Da, da, da. I don't know. They were acting like, you
have to be happy that you won the lip sync
against this person who didn't really try, was unprepared, who was a fan favorite, and even later Shay in Untucked is like, I wouldn't want to fight against someone who wasn't really fighting, and like Nina's like, yeah, that was last week. Like, hello?
Why is Nina supposed to feel like she won and she did? She did slay the lip sync, but like. It wouldn't feel like that when you're like literally the person that I was lip syncing against didn't know she just didn't sing, you guys. She had a mask on and Ru made her stop. Like, it was obvious I was staying.
Right? That's why I was like, it was so
good
annoying.
job, Nina!
Oh my God, Nina, you did it! You survived again!
Nina!
So Ru comes in. The main challenge is the makeover challenge, which is always problematic and proved to be once again.
Yes.
But this time they have to make over the crew.
Which I thought was really nice because they all knew it. Like, they knew them.
They did this on Project Runway and it was also really fun.
Oh, okay.
And there was the same kind of like when Ru was like, you better take care of my crew, like I love them or whatever. Tim Gunn was very protective of the crew members. He was like...
Gotta make them look good.
Now, who do I want to see all purdied up in drag?
Seemed like, but I'm sure it wasn't.
Oh, Ru specifically picked people, yes.
People, and I was like, okay.
Who agreed to this? Who we plan to have someone else replace them for the week. Like, because clearly someone has to do their job. Right.
Like the AD, like they need an AD, you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, Duncan knew ahead of time.
Yeah.
Well, Shay picked hers because they looked the most alike, which
was a mistake. As we've seen in previous seasons.
Yes. Oh, I'll pick the pretty one.
Nope.
Oh, no.
Mistake. He has a limp.
This is going to take some work.
And an attitude of a super diva.
Shay's talking to her guy and she's like, what women do you I'm like, I really look up to Naomi Campbell, like, who do you really like look up to as a woman or whatever? And he goes,
Natalie Portman's really hot. She's not working with this.
She is not really matched with the House of Kool-Aid brand.
Natalie Portman?
Oh boy.
But he was sweet. I mean, like, it wasn't like he was like uncooperative at least. Exactly.
He was just basic.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a dog walk in snow? Ooh. It's just like that.
And then Nina's attempt at sewing.
So, okay, I mean, they really forecasted this one. Nina could do a great job, right? She could do crazy makeup for both of them, but she doesn't have time. She didn't have time to paint her chest last week.
Yeah.
So how is she gonna have time to do good makeup for two people, let alone, when she was like, I'm gonna try and make us outfits, I was like, oh, this is over.
I was like, well, it's admirable that she's trying to do something different.
Yeah.
That's good.
If it was episode 4, that's what I'm saying. Where it's like, these challenges should have been earlier. I just wish that she had made the choice to say, I can't get our makeup done. I was a gorgeous fishy queen last week.
Yeah.
Let's do that for both of us tonight.
Would they have said, well, this doesn't really seem on brand for the House of Bonina? That I don't know.
Well, then I would have, if I were Nina, I would have been like, well, girl, you only gave me 6 hours and I can't paint both of our faces like fucking rabbits in 6 hours and do this and do that and choreograph a thing and whatever. And we look fucking gorgeous, so go fuck yourselves. This is my brand. I'm very versatile. Thank you.
That would have gone over really well with the judges.
Really well. But if she had said it nicely.
Yes, yes.
I'm versatile.
Yeah.
Sue me. Okay, I mean, so we just have to talk about, like, so Sarge was the best.
Duncan and Sarge were feeling themselves.
Yes.
Particularly Sarge.
Girl, I cannot wait to show you.
I mean, Sarge was giving me some like Harvey Firestein like realness, and I was living for it.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, but they were all having fun, like with like getting ready and getting them together.
And then Nina's partner Aaron gives her, I thought, a really nice pep talk.
Yes.
And I thought it maybe sank in a little more because it wasn't coming from a drag queen who she always feels threatened by or feels like they're going to attack her or whatever.
It was like someone else who
like
was just observing from the outside.
Voice.
What's keeping you down is yourself. That's what I get off you. Your fucking pride's in front of you, or you're just too blind to see.
And after a while, people can't keep telling you, you know, you're great.
He was giving her a lot of good advice. It was also, it's tough. She's been in the bottom 2 weeks. So, like, she probably is like, I'm done. Like, this is just happening.
We see later.
Like, no matter what. And I sort of saw that, too. It's Coco Montrese, you know? Like, there's only so many times you can lip sync for your life.
Yep.
And no matter how many people tell me you're good and we're here for you, I'm not going to believe it until I believe it for myself.
So, quick commercial break. A lot of you have been saying that you've been seeing ads, which is very exciting. Come through, Google. Thank you.
Yes!
But still, please support patreon.com/moviebitches. Rue comes out. This is, I think, one of my favorite. I think this is my favorite outfit of this season.
I think so. This I loved. Could have done without the feathers in her hair.
It could have used a little editing.
It gilded the lilies.
Yeah.
Just over the edge.
Yep,
And
I agree.
I said, oh, because it already had a big...
Yep.
So we're in agreement. But it was this fabulous sort of like kimono-inspired white paper dress with all these Japanese characters written all over it by Zaldi, who was the guest judge.
And it was like, oh, there you go.
And then he was like, oh yeah, I put all your
phrases on
like,
it.
Like sachet away and all these things like all over it. And I was like, that's fabulous.
Fabulous. So Zaldi was one of the guest judges, and then...
You forgot? Kesha?
Oh, God, Kesha, free Kesha! How could I forget Kesha? Well, she was drunk.
Something. She was something.
What is it, dear?
Too good. I just can't.
I'm here for Kesha.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Kesha. I'm ready for Kesha to release some new songs.
Yes.
I am here for it. It's summer. I'm ready. My body is ready. Well, it's not quite ready. We're getting there. 4th of July is my deadline.
Okay, great.
She's here.
She wasn't so drunk it was embarrassing.
Oh, no.
She was just like, oh, you're having a good time.
No, she wasn't Padma. Because they're always at these food and wine events. So it's like, oh, and here's Padma with a glass of wine. And you're just like, I'll just have another glass.
She probably weighs 102 pounds.
Yeah.
So she's just like, woo!
So it's like a fun, extra layer of watching Top Chef where you're just like, oh, Padma, you're drunk.
Top Chef just makes me angry because I want to eat the food.
Sure.
So I'm just like, ugh.
I would love to go to one of those events and then be one of those really bitchy people that was like, well, this dish was a mess.
You would be perfect for that. That job is made for you.
Yeah. So, first down the runway, Trinity and Glitta for Days. So I agree, someone tweeted us or something that they were like, it should have been Glitta for Days.
Oh yes, that's much
instead
better.
of Glitta for Days.
Much better.
I mean, it could have been Holy Ghost Taylor.
See, that's silly and fun. I'm into it.
But
But they come down the runway looking like two New Jersey housewives who were stripping on the side.
Yep.
It was trash-tastic.
And I loved it though. This was Trinity at her best. It was tacky Trinity, but in the right way.
Oh boy, was it tacky. Oh boy, was her body on point. I was like, oh.
Both of them, though. Both of them.
Her
and
body
that was what was great. Well, of course. And I love that, the tearaway was great. And it's like, here we are. Because I was like, oh, wait, she didn't end up tucking. Oh. Because they made so much of a deal of her making sure that the tuck was right, and the swimsuit, whatever. And I was like, oh, it must not have gone well. And they're like, oh, it did. She just tearaway.
Okay, let me see. I mean, it's not great.
And they were clearly the best at the lip sync.
Absolutely.
They had the most fun. They played with each other. They had the most choreography. I mean, the family resemblance was clearly there.
Oh, yes.
And it was just like, cheetah bikinis.
It was, she slayed it.
So then next down the runway was Shea and Bae Coulee.
Okay, here's the biggest thing. If Shea had gotten Bae's wig right.
No. The dress was such a fucking mess. It literally looked like a toga.
But all that...
Like a toga with appliques.
Well, yes. But I was so distracted by how awful the wig was.
Well, there was two things. The wig was in her face the whole time,
Yes.
so you were looking at that. But
Yeah.
also, the whole time down the runway, both of them were holding their furs/muffs in front of their dresses. So you were like, what is exactly happening? I don't really know.
It was really confused.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was it reminded me of Alaska in All-Stars with like the black and the white, right?
Yes,
The whole thing.
yes.
That's never a great
It's
idea.
not, it really just isn't. It's not.
It's just not good.
Mm-mm. She did fix the wig, eventually, kind of.
I don't know why Bae didn't fix it.
I don't know what was going on.
I was
Girl, there's hair in your face. It's not supposed to be like that.
It seemed weird. They both had like cotton candy wigs on. I didn't love it.
Mm-mm.
Their faces looked pretty. Next down the runway was Alexis and Ryan Stardust. Am I supposed to know what that means?
Did I miss that? I missed that.
But it's rye like toast, like bread.
Rye and Stardust?
Rye and Stardust. Ryan Stardust? But who's that? Are we missing something? Is Ryan Stardust a person?
Right.
I didn't understand. So Ryan was made to look so old. She looked like Grandma Fembot. And I didn't understand why. I mean, and she totally was giving me Gene Hackman at the end of Birdcage with like the wig.
Yes,
right?
that is spot on.
You're welcome.
I knew I couldn't. I was like,
You're
there's
welcome.
something, but I don't. That's exactly what it was. Well, and so in Untucked, she complains about how the judges read her for this look and how it seemed like it was costumey and Halloween costume bin or whatever.
Yeah.
Because she sewed it herself and she had to fit her own curves, which are really unique. Sure, maybe it's harder to sew something that fits your silhouette right or whatever.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, you picked a tacky, shiny, glittery, 1950s, 60s space Mars exploration.
Sexy
Space.
60s space vixen.
Yeah. Okay. Why? Is that Alexis Michelle?
Couldn't tell you.
Couldn't you give me some like
is-
Rockettes? Isn't
Yeah.
that, I don't know who Alexis Michelle is or what her brand is because she keeps selling us like Broadway,
Yeah.
New York, Hoboken, whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Barbara.
Yeah, and then it's like, but also I'm gonna give you all this other shit that has nothing to do with that, and so I'm just so confused. What is your brand? Who are you, Princess Subway Fish? What does that mean?
I still don't know.
Right?
So then next on the runway, Nina Bonina Joel Osmond Brown
Yeah.
comes down the runway with Ariana.
Ariana.
I didn't hate this is the thing.
Oh, I did.
I didn't hate it because it was fun to look at. It was absolutely unfinished.
Yes.
It was absolutely not a great, fashion moment. But it did sort of have this, Roger Rabbit cartoon, his, slutty stripper sisters who, are twins down.
I loved the blonde hair.
They're the warm-up act for Jessica Rabbit.
Yep.
It was more interesting than Alexis for me.
I mean, yes. The problem with the outfit, with all of it, was that it was unfinished. To play devil's advocate, I would also say that this was also something that we've seen from Nina before.
Yeah.
Particularly, like Michelle said, it's the same kind of silhouette, it's
Totally.
the same face, kind of, it's like, oh, I'm going to do a cool makeup.
We don't see it a lot on Drag Race.
That's
true. Why I'm like, oh, it's much better than a gown.
Yes.
Cool.
Than a really basic silver glitter space gown, yes.
Oh, okay. I did think that Nina, with the cheekbones and everything,
Yep.
Nina did look like if Jada Pinkett Smith had bunny makeup on. Nina Bonina Pinkett Smith.
Yes.
I find Nina to be a very interesting and different, unique queen, so
I agree.
I give her more leeway. And that's maybe not fair, but that's how I feel.
I mean, and that's fine. But nevertheless, it was like, oh, this didn't work.
No.
And so when I saw it, I was like, oh, so Nina's going home.
Well, I thought, because once we get to the judging and it was like basically Alexis or Shea were on the bubble, I was like, okay, if Shea's in the bottom, Nina's going home.
Yeah.
If Alexis is in the bottom,
It could
she
go
has
either
a
way.
snowball's chance in hell of staying. Because Alexis can go.
So then next up was Sasha and
Donatella.
This was good. Except for I didn't like their outfits, and yet everyone else loved them.
I really didn't care for this.
Right?
I was like, why do they have ice buckets on their heads? Clearly, I mean, that's what it looked like.
Was it the ice bucket challenge?
No, because they had giant fro hair. It was just so clear to me that, like, Sasha already owned this coat and dress
it was-
set.
and set
so
it,
she
yep.
just said, oh, I mean, that's a smart thing to do. But I don't know, this just felt very... Like, I've seen it from her.
All the judges were gagging. They were like, oh, this is so fashion forward and
like
whatever.
A basic,
And I was like, really?
Kind of 1950s style Chinese.
Yeah. I didn't get that
dress.
at all. I was like...
It literally looked like she found that at a thrift store. I thought they had fun together.
Yeah.
I thought she had a pretty big challenge, right? Because he's been there the longest. He's the head honcho. Like, she rose
And
to...
he's real masculine,
he's real
whatever,
masculine.
yeah.
She totally rose to that challenge completely. I just didn't really like their looks.
I didn't really either.
Not that they gave him a pass.
Sure.
Because it wasn't awful or anything.
No.
But maybe they just weren't like, we're not going to dig in.
Right.
Because it's Duncan.
Because it's Duncan the AD, who's been here for
It's not
7 years.
the PA, Rizzo, you know, even though
Right.
they gave him
They
flawless
loved-
comments. His name is Rizzo!
Rizzo! All I think of is Grease. Because Rizzo is maybe the best part of Grease.
Absolutely, 100% the best part of Grease.
Yeah.
She has the best song.
There are
She's the
worse
most
things
fabulous.
I could do.
And go with a boy
Or two. Or 12. It's not the lyric, but...
The neighborhood thinks
I'm trashy and no good.
When Sasha first came down the runway, she really looked like Jinx to me. Once again, I could have done without the props.
Oh, she loves her props, don't she? And a signage. She could take a note from Alaska on how to use a prop.
She could. I just realized something.
Huh.
Remember at the beginning, Ru was like, and we've got these great wigs.
We've got these gorgeous rock star wigs to top things off.
She points to like a
I don't
table
remember
full of
that.
wigs and like, here's these wigs you can use. And I'm pretty sure nobody used it. Like, I don't think anyone
They
used
were all
any
just
of them.
wigs that they had.
It seemed like it. Because the wigs were real basic that they'd panned to. That's weird.
I don't know. Huh. I don't even remember that. So
It was real quick.
So then last down the runway is Peppermint and Wintermint, which was cute. I mean, at least that, not Wintermint, Wintergreen.
Yes. So this was awful.
I hated this.
I thought
She came out and I was like, oh, she's on the bottom.
other than Wintermint's face, which I thought was really good, this was awful. They had two completely mismatched kimonos.
Yep, it was awful. It was. They
Floral.
were both looks separate and together
No.
were terrible.
Both looks separate were terrible, and together they were even worse because they clashed
So much.
horribly.
And all the judges were like, "Oh, you're lucky that
Wintermint was such a fabulous cunt," and I'm like,
that's not on her."
And Peppermint, you should thank Wintergreen because she was the one who pulled you through.
What the fuck are you talking
they were
about? Send that bitch home.
She outshined you. She was so fabulous. That means she should be in the bottom. That was insane, right?
You're a professional drag queen, and this, what's his job?
He was like a camera operator.
This camera operator was a more engaging and entertaining drag queen than you were. And your
And you're in
outfits
the
were
top
so
6.
mismatched that the only saving grace was how great the looks that he was giving were. That we're gonna save you?
It wasn't like Peppermint. You instructed him to
No.
be such a fabulous
No.
drag queen that's your saving
You
grace.
just got fucking lucky that he was a fabulous cunt.
They literally almost said that word verbatim. Can Ru be like, Sarge, you're fired. You are now a contestant on the show.
Right?
Peppermint,
You're
leave.
done. Sarge, you are number 6.
Yeah, and I hope that his drag name is Sarge.
Yeah.
I like
I
it.
love that. Sergeant Peppermint.
Ooh.
That would have been kind of great too.
Because like Sergeant Pepper's, Peppermint. Oh, why wasn't he Sergeant Peppermint? You just fucking killed it.
Gorgeous.
I know.
Those faces, though. Living.
Kesha was dying. Kesha almost died. She was almost hospitalized. He had like an Edward G. Robinson and drag thing going on.
I mean, I would love to see Sarge in like a production of Hairspray.
Oh, yes. Edna Turnblad.
Yeah.
Done.
Michelle and Ross just like, we're going at it.
I was at least a little more interested in what Shea brought to the table than I was with Alexis.
Really? Shay's was sloppy. This one was not sloppy.
They were like,
Yes.
I don't agree with you. And it's like, well, I don't agree with you.
They were getting into it.
And yet I really appreciated that.
It was more drama than we've seen all season.
Right?
From the queen.
Like, when you guys, when they're making me miss Santino, you know that there's a problem.
I still miss Santino.
I don't know. Mm-mm.
At least he was a real asshole.
Well, that's true.
Instead of like, punny pun puns, puns.
I do really like that this season has a theme of just like Ru making a bad pun.
I see her bridge and tunnel. Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle. It's great. So then it was like, and now you all have a lip sync performance to Click Clack.
Literally the only person to talk about was Trinity. And we already talked about Trinity.
Pretty much. So there you go.
It was fine. So they keep cutting back to their, the crew, their guy, their makeover
right, in the
people,
backstage.
And they like apparently couldn't pay for the lighting for the room to be on all the way. I was like, where are they? What's going on? They turned out they were in the workroom, and I was like, why? But they didn't turn the lights on?
So Trinity clearly won.
It decidedly wins. I love that she's just like, it's been too long since I've won a challenge. I'm gonna win this one. I won it.
You know what's funny is that she did that when she won the first challenge that she won, she was like, I haven't won a challenge yet. I'm gonna win a challenge.
Yeah, right?
And she won. It's like, oh, okay.
And Alexis is safe.
And Peppermint's safe.
Peppermint's safe. And Shea and Nina are in the bottom. And I was like, fuck, Nina's going home.
Yeah.
And I was really bummed.
I was bummed.
But I understood. So then I was like, this better be an epic fucking lip sync. And it wasn't.
It was not.
On either side.
That's what was really a bummer.
That's what was really a bummer. Because they both had their words right.
Mm-hmm.
There was no, shenanigans. Nina was definitely a sad rabbit.
Yeah.
Like, she was like, I'm going to do this, but my heart's not in it. And you could tell.
You could tell.
I'm glad she
still
didn't
did
give
it.
up.
I'm so glad she didn't give up.
That would have been some bullshit.
But Shea didn't slay it for me either. And you know what's really a bummer for me was that, like, I would love to see Katya do this lip sync.
Oh, yes.
Because there's two beat drops. The first one I was like, okay, I could totally have a death drop here.
I was fully like, okay, so now they're gonna
Nope.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh, fine, they're waiting for like the next beat drop, which is like a bigger one and like more dramatic.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're not gonna do anything there either.
Very it was totally good, but
Sure.
it was not fabulous.
Oh, no.
And for Shea to be in the bottom, I really thought she would have just fucking slayed it.
Right.
And she didn't.
I would have loved some like simultaneous death drops and like crazy move. It was just like kind of chill. The most fabulous lip sync, I guess, honestly, for me has been last week's, where Nina slayed and Valentina was crazy dramatic.
Right, where it's just like, what's happening?
But all the other lip syncs have not been anything to write home about. I don't know what it is.
There's no killer instinct this season.
No. There's not like this
That's
kind of
missing.
it doesn't seem like it's a competition.
It really does. I kept this week particularly, I was like, what is the cutthroat, competitiveness? Because I was thinking, Trinity is here to win.
Yes. Trinity is the only one who's in a competition.
Only one who's participating in a competition currently, right? And so I, this week, went, when is everyone else going to realize that Trinity is walking away with this season? I was literally, had a moment where I was like, so are they all going to turn on her? Because she is legit running away with this competition.
And everyone else is just kind of like, I don't know, I'm going to worry about Nina.
I'm going to do my best. There was one moment where Shea kind of slayed, where at the beginning, she just starts to walk, down the runway. And I was like, yes, walk, Shay. But then there was not really another moment.
I mean, that's not enough to, like, slay a lip sync.
No, that was the only thing that kind of stuck out.
Well, so, okay, this was weird to me, though, too. I feel like it's worth mentioning that Kesha was a guest judge, and they didn't
do her song.
Do a Kesha song? Kesha song? A Kesha song.
No, it was a Demi Lovato song.
Yeah, why? And cool for the summer, like...
I like that it was, like, a slow...
And then yet there's like a...
You know, like, it was a good lip sync song.
It probably was, yes.
Why it was this week and not Kesha, that I do not know.
No. I mean, some slutty Kesha song where they get half naked on stage.
Nina gets to be a
Nina just strips off her...
silly bunny.
Oh my god, a Playboy bunny, a slutty bunny.
Playboy
Love it.
bunny.
Love it.
Yeah, she didn't seem to play up the Playboy
Although she did
bunny.
pat her pussy.
That was fun.
I did enjoy that. So Nina goes home. I want to say a really nice thank you, Nina, for giving us a shout out in her goodbye video. If you guys haven't watched her goodbye video,
where she looks gorgeous. I mean,
we've seen her just look
beautiful skin.
Yes.
It's so just clean, hydrated. I mean, serious. Sometimes when she's just in the workroom, I'm like, gosh, she has beautiful skin. It's just really beautiful. Anyway.
Thank you for the shout out. We're here to support you.
Oh,
and
of course.
I get really pissed when you hear these people commenting and whatever that like Valentina's fans were like sending death threats to Nina for sending her home. I'm like, girl, she sent herself home.
People are crazy.
She didn't know the words. Anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
But like never sent death threats.
Well, that's also true.
Regardless.
But I expected her to be a bigger fan favorite.
Yeah.
And because of this edit and because of this nonsense that it's like, who gives, like, it was just such stupid, I was just like, I don't want to hear you guys complain about her anymore. I don't want to hear about this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to, like, just, I don't care.
Move on.
I don't care about any of it. Everyone shut up. But people directed that towards Nina, and I don't like that. I don't think that's fair.
No. But yes, Nina goes home.
Yep.
And has somewhat made a little catchphrase for herself.
Sue me.
Sue me.
Sue me. I think I might.
I like it. I'm here for it.
Yes.
Just don't turn into cuckoo.
No, you did it just enough.
Just enough.
Oh boy, I had legitimately forgotten about Cuckoo. Thank you very much. So Untucked this week was
pretty boring.
Pretty boring. They all come in and their makeover guys are nowhere to be found.
Right.
And that was sort of odd. Usually, you know, because they just can react to what the judges' critiques and
right.
like, oh
no,
and then separate them to be like, girl, his face was hard to beat or whatever.
Exactly.
So it was weird. They were just MIA. Can we talk about Alexis Wigline? Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it for the next 30 minutes?
30?
What the fuck? Did it shift? Was it always like that? What happened? It looked like she had a bald cap on. Like, it was really insane to me. It was crazy.
I don't know what to tell you.
It was crazy.
Well, I mean, can we talk about how, like, I mean, Alexis was really just trying to hold court.
When you finished painting her mug in the workroom, that mug she was pulling.
Which I guess, thank God, because then no one would have said anything. So at a certain point, well, I mean, it's like they're all talking and Nina is like over there on the side, not being included or part of this conversation or participating in the conversation.
Yeah, she's checked out.
Yeah. And you're like, well, so Nina's obviously, as if we didn't know, Nina is for sure going home. And she's like, you guys, I'm like honestly just wondering if I should even lip sync.
Right.
You're a role model now. So suck it up, be a man, be a woman, and do your job as an entertainer. And entertain, girl. Don't just give up.
You're an entertainer. Bottom line, you have to entertain. We don't need another lip sync where...
That's what I wish someone had said.
Someone said, girl, we can't have a third lip sync where someone just gives the fuck up. What is happening this season?
What is happening this season? When did it become okay to just give up on a lip sync? Like, that's what, but I guess that's part of this season just didn't have any sort of competitiveness. There was no cutthroat or whatever. So it's just like, oh, well, I'm in the bottom. I'm not going to lip sync because I don't lip sync. I sing live. Then sing live. Really quietly. Or silently. It's the same thing. It's called a lip sync. What? Like,
we need to see your lips.
why are we having this conversation? This is insane to me.
Nina, I think you were special. I think that Shay, you were right. Shay is a very strong contender. I think that's very apparent. I do not want this to turn into this, for 30 minutes that we have left, us trying to cheer Nina up.
As if on cue, the crew comes in is like, hey, we got hamburgers and other things.
Cheese balls.
There was vegan, there was vegetarian, vegan things for
Everybody
you, Sasha.
is so much more interested in the food than anything else.
I don't blame them.
Oh yeah, but I mean, they were just like,
although the fried macaroni and cheese ball, I was like, I don't know. If I was in drag and tucked and
no, and already probably gassy from a corset, no. I'm good. Duncan was kind of shady. He like gave some shade to Trinity.
Should I pay my rent or should I go buy a gown?
Or should I finish the left cheek?
Everyone's talking about how Trinity had a crush on Rizzo, and that's why they assigned Rizzo to Trinity. Oh, so that's why she was so hands-on with the tuck.
Yes, that was.
Because she was like, I'm going to come back here and help you tuck, right?
It was that weird moment where he was like...
Spread your legs a little bit. What the Get the out of here.
And it was like a joke?
But then she's like, going through all of this ordeal, like, I'm over my crush. I was like, I get that.
And I can't wait for him to get out of drag, so now I can,
Sexually harass him again.
No, now I kind of look at him as my sister, so I'm kind of turned off now.
She was like, who's next on the crew?
Oh yeah, they're like,
what cameraman's next?
Who are we going to sexually harass next?
You want some of these?
I do love that Trinity's cheetah robe is now like a character on Untucked. Like it's credited. Like it should be in the credit sequence. And Trinity's robe placement by Ellen, like, it's great.
That's her name. Good job.
I remembered it.
Yeah.
All the makeover guys are sitting watching the results.
Oh, yeah? Oh, my gosh. This was weird and also touching?
Yeah, it was weird and touching. Because they seem to be taking it really personally, which always sort of happens. And then Duncan keeps being like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Don't take it in. It's not your fault.
Which was just very, like, Monaru, AD of him. I got it.
Well, and it's extra, I mean, they've known them for however many weeks, so like it was even more emotional,
exactly,
I'm sure.
Well, it was so touching when Aaron was like crying when Nina was sent home, and it was just like, oh.
That's not on you.
No, I know.
It's way tougher when you're part of it.
Right? Yeah, it is. Feel invested.
Because you're some tatted up mother with a septum piercing, but you're a sensitive guy.
So Nina's packing up, and she was actually, she seemed like resolved and was kind of having fun with it or whatever.
More or less.
She says she's happy that she even made it onto the show in the first place. But Nina's packing up. I did love, she's packing up and she takes her breastplate.
Oh my God, yes.
Which is, the nipples are blurred out still. And she thanks them.
You got me through season 9. Not till the end, but you did a good job, and I really appreciate you for all you've done for me.
So then she throws it into her bag. Well, and she says, she's talking to her pads, and she's like, oh.
Why do I have to be a pad queen?
Why can't I have silicone like Trinity so I don't have to pack all this?
I'll miss Nina. I thought Nina was one of the more entertaining queens of this season.
Me too.
Even though a lot of people really didn't appreciate her storyline. I did.
I did.
So, fuck the rest of them. Sue me.
Sue me. See you next Thursday.
See you next Thursday.
Natalie Portman.